If where you're headed today doesn't align with where you want to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, then today is the day to correct course. Now, this is key. You don't have to be wealthy to start a wealth plan. You don't even need perfect health to begin a health plan. What you need is the wisdom to recognize, hey, this plan I'm working with isn't getting me there. And then have the determination to seek out someone who has a better plan and say, I'm going to make their plan my plan. Now, if you want to build a success plan, find successful people. If you want a better health plan, find someone who has mastered their health. If you're looking for a new lifestyle, seek out those living the way you aspire to live. It's all about expanding your circle of influence. The people you associate with will shape your thinking, your habits, and ultimately your future. So make sure you're around people who are playing the game of life at a higher level. No professional sports team enters the field without a strategy. Whether it's football, basketball, or any competitive sport, they spend time developing a game plan. Yet, how many of us are going through life day by day without a plan? We know the importance of planning in sports, but we often neglect the same principle in our own lives. But let me tell you, it's vital. Here's the first rule when it comes to your personal game plan. Don't start your day until it's already finished, at least on paper. You must know what you want to accomplish before you even begin. Take the time to map out your day. Yes, it takes discipline, and yes, it requires effort, but the payoff is enormous. Remember, the rewards come from discipline, not just from wishing things were different. Now, once you've mastered the habit of planning your day, take it to the next level. Don't start your week until it's finished. That's right, every Sunday, take some time to lay out what you need to get done over the next 7 days. That way, when Friday comes, you won't be left scratching your head, wondering where did the week go. Instead, you'll know exactly where it went because you directed it. You were in control. You were in charge. And here's the beauty of it all. Once you learn to plan your days and your weeks, you'll be able to plan your months. And that's where the real magic happens. By creating a game plan for your days, your weeks, and your months, you're not just floating through life. You're living with purpose. You're connecting the dots, seeing the bigger picture unfold. It's like laying down pieces of a puzzle. The more you plan, the clearer the picture becomes, and that's when you'll start to see your life's grand design come together. It's a long-term vision of vision that gives you clarity, focus, and most importantly, direction. It takes an immense amount of discipline, no question about it. But here's the beauty of discipline. It soon becomes a habit. And once that habit takes root, you're not just managing your time. You're mastering it. This habit of discipline will open the door to what I call the good life. So what do you do when you realize that you've been coasting through life without a clear plan? Maybe you've let a couple of months slip by, or maybe you've wasted a year being only 10% as effective as you could have been. The key is this. Now is the time to change all that. Now is the time to make a solid plan. Let's start with something close to home, your family. You've got to have a plan for your family. You're on this journey, but you've got to take them along with you. Don't leave them behind. Don't get so caught up in your personal or financial goals that you forget the people who matter most. One of the great challenges we all face is learning how to balance everything, our work, our finances, our relationships, so that we don't look back at the end of a year and say, I spent too much time on this, or I wasted too much money on that. And if that's ever been the case, you've got to ask yourself, how can I not make that mistake again? You need to construct better plans, so when you reach the end of this year or the next 5 years, you'll be able to say, no regrets. I lived it well. Now, you need plans to be financially secure. That's non-negotiable. Life is unpredictable. And you want to have the kind of financial security that allows you to weather any storm. And how do you get there? A good, solid plan for your resources. But that's not all. There's another plan you need, your personal development plan. This is the plan that takes you from where you are to where you could be, not just financially, but personally. What's your plan to be better this year than you were last year? What's your strategy to grow? This could mean taking classes, attending workshops, investing time in learning, or honing a new skill. Personal development isn't just about making more money or adding another car or house to your name. No, it's about the progress of your character, your personality, and your ability to communicate. It's about becoming better at dealing with people, expanding your influence, and multiplying the power of that influence tenfold. That's the kind of progress that really matters. You need these kinds of plans, a plan for personal growth, a plan for becoming more. And here's something critical. Know yourself well enough to understand when you are at your best. Know when you're most productive during the day, the week, or the month, and use that time wisely. Schedule your most important tasks during your peak hours. This is how you work with your game plan so it works best for you. And the secret: stay disciplined. Stick to your plan until you've got it down, until it becomes second nature. There's something powerful about writing your plan down. When what's been swirling in your mind, what you've imagined, starts to take shape on paper now, that's where the magic begins. I remember when I first heard about network marketing. I was 25 years old, and I heard the stories, the testimonials. People were getting rich, changing their lives, starting from nothing and becoming something. That was exciting. But let me tell you what really inspired me. It wasn't just hearing those stories. It was when I made the decision to get involved, to make it a part of my future. When I put pen to paper and laid out my plan, that's when the dream started to feel real. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do. Take what's in your head, what's in your imagination, and put it on paper. Make the decision today that you're going to create a plan, a game plan for your life. Because once you do, you'll be amazed at how things start to take shape. You'll be living on purpose, not by accident. What really got my heart racing was when I sat down and started making plans. That's when everything began to take shape. You see, it's one thing to have a dream, an idea, a vision of what you want, but when you take that imagination and belief and commit it to paper, that's when the magic happens. I remember those moments as if they were yesterday. It was exhilarating. I had this idea of what my life could look like, what I could accomplish, and in the back of my mind, I knew if others had done it, maybe, just maybe, it could happen for me too. But here's the key: it wasn't just the dream that inspired me. It was the act of writing it down. When I started crafting those plans, it felt like I was taking the first real step toward making that dream tangible. I wasn't just thinking about it anymore, I was actually doing something about it. And there's something incredibly powerful about that. The moment I put pen to paper, my ideas were no longer just ideas, they were becoming part of a plan. And that gave me an incredible sense of inspiration because now it felt real. It wasn't just a fantasy. It was something I could work toward. However, here's a reality check. You can make all the plans in the world, and yes, in the beginning, those plans are a tremendous source of inspiration. You feel energized just thinking about them, envisioning what could be. And sure, today you'll make a plan, tomorrow you'll tweak it, and the next day you'll make even more plans. But let me tell you, after a while, just planning isn't enough. You see, that initial inspiration from creating plans, that excitement, it wears off. It won't last you a week. The real test comes when that inspiration has to turn into action. It's not enough to have the plan, you've got to work the plan. Because here's the truth: indecision is the thief of opportunity. The longer you wait to act, the more chances slip through your fingers. If you don't decide what you're going to do today, guess what? The day will get away from you. You'll find yourself at the end of it wondering where all that time went, wondering why you didn't get as much done as you could have. That's why, to the best of your ability, you've got to make decisions early. You've got to have a plan before the day even starts. Let me give you a scenario. Imagine waking up in the morning and thinking, well, what should I do today? You delay making that decision, and before you know it, half the day is gone. In the afternoon, you're saying to yourself, I need to get something done. What should I do now? But by then, most of the day has already escaped, and you find yourself scrambling, trying to salvage what little time you have left. The whole day slips away, not because you didn't have the ability, not because you didn't have the energy, but because you didn't have a plan. You see, the biggest trap we can fall into is thinking we'll figure it out as we go along. No, that doesn't work. You've got to have a blueprint before the day starts, a roadmap for where you're going, and a commitment to act on it. That's where the real power lies, not just in dreaming, not just in planning, but in taking those plans and translating them into action. Success is nothing more than a few simple disciplines practiced every day. And that's where discipline comes in. It's not just about making plans, it's about following through on them, one step at a time, one day at a time. Because if you do that, if you commit to that discipline, you'll start seeing the results. And that's when the real excitement begins, not just the excitement of planning, but the thrill of progress. That's what will carry you forward. The decisions we make early on in life are often the ones that shape the entire course of our future. Think about it, the choices you make in your youth about what direction you'll take, what career you'll pursue, what values you'll stand by, those decisions can have a lasting impact. If you neglect those early choices, if you let time slip by without deciding, the opportunities may diminish. And then what happens? You find yourself trying to catch up later, working harder just to get back on track because those early decisions weren't made in time. It's the same principle whether we're talking about the start of your day, the beginning of a month, or the early days of a new year. The decisions you make at those points set the tone. They shape what kind of day you're going to have, what kind of month, what kind of year. Those early decisions are like laying the foundation of a building. If you get them right, everything else fits into place. Take a marriage, for example. The decisions you make in the early days of your marriage, those are the ones that can have a lifelong effect. They set the rhythm for how you communicate, how you grow together, and how you handle the ups and downs of life. Or think about when you first encounter an opportunity, maybe it's a new business idea, a career move, or even a new relationship. What you decide to do in those first moments, how far you decide to take that opportunity could define what it becomes in the years to come. So those early decisions, they're vital. But here's another truth. Sometimes we don't always make the right decisions. It happens. We all make mistakes, unwise choices that in hindsight cost us more than we imagined. Maybe it cost you time, maybe it cost you money, or maybe it cost you a valuable relationship. But as long as you're alive, there's always a chance to correct those mistakes. That's the beauty of decision making. You can always make a new one, a better one. You've got the power to turn things around. This is where decision power becomes crucial. You have to be definite in your decisions. Don't let opportunities pass you by because of indecision. Life doesn't wait for you to decide, so you need to step up, take control, and be intentional about what you want. When you develop a game plan for your life, it's like creating a visual chain of actions and outcomes. You've got to keep that game plan front and center. Put it where you can see it every day on your desk, your refrigerator, and your journal. Let it serve as a constant reminder of where you're headed and what you need to do to get there. Having that game plan is rewarding because it's a clear roadmap. When you stick to the plan, when you're doing all that you've scheduled to do, you'll start seeing the results. And that's exciting. There's a certain magic in watching your dreams slowly turn into reality because you're following through on your plan. You'll feel more in charge of your life, more in control of your future. It's like painting a masterpiece day by day, stroke by stroke. You're creating something beautiful and entirely your own. But let me tell you, your game plan needs to be more than just work projects. Life is about balance. Your game plan should include time for recreation, time for reflection, time for exercise, health, and spirituality. You've got to make room for all the important areas of your life because true success isn't just about getting things done. It's about living a rich, full life. Dream the dream, plan for the dream, and then work the plan until that dream becomes your reality. And here's where it gets really powerful. When you have a well thought out game plan, you can literally see your future laid out before you. So on those days when your energy is low, when enthusiasm is lacking, when your ambition isn't driving you as hard as it should, your game plan is there to keep you on track. On those tough days, you can look at how far you've come and remind yourself where you're headed. That visual chain of the future will pull you forward, even when everything else seems to be holding you back. Discipline and vision are the keys. When your motivation wanes, it's your discipline that will keep you moving, and it's the vision of your future that will remind you why you started in the first place. That's the power of a solid game plan. It doesn't let you fall behind. It keeps pulling you ahead. Day by day, week by week, you'll see the transformation as your dreams unfold into the life you've always imagined. Now, the act of beginning. There's something truly magical about the moment you take your thoughts, your plans, the ideas swirling around in your head, and turn them into action. That's the turning point, the moment when you commit to change and take that first step. There's nothing quite like it. Imagine what happens when you decide to make a change in your health. You decide to improve your diet. Guess what you get to say to yourself when you begin? I'm on a new path. I've carved out a fresh beginning for myself. I'm on the road to incredible health. I'll never be the same again. That's powerful. You're leaving behind the old, undisciplined version of yourself and stepping into a new identity. I just had my first shake. I swallowed my first set of tablets. I took that first walk around the block that I'd been putting off for so long, and today I did it. There's no feeling like it when you know you've started. That first step can transform your entire outlook. You're no longer stuck thinking about what you might do. No, now you can say, I've begun. I'm on my way. And that's a powerful source of inspiration. Think about how incredible it is when you finally make that shift in your mindset. When you start something new, whether it's for your health, your finances, or your relationships, it has the power to lift your self-esteem in ways you never imagined. Many of you already know this, you've experienced it. You felt the surge of energy that comes from starting a new journey. I'm simply here to remind you to harness that power. Whether it's your health, your career, your personal development, whatever area of your life it is, don't just think about it, begin. Maybe you've always wanted to get involved in something like charity work or giving back, but you just haven't taken the first step. Maybe you've thought about it, but you haven't made the plans or the commitment yet. My message to you today is simple. Start. Take what's been living in your imagination, those powerful ideas, and decide to bring them to life. Use that spark of inspiration that comes from dreaming and make plans. Turn those plans into action and take the first step. Because once you begin, you open the door to incredible opportunities and possibilities. It all starts with that first step. Here's another example. Let's say you decide to begin a new commitment to learning. You've thought about it, right? Maybe you've said to yourself, I'm going to have a library second to none. I'm going to surround myself with knowledge, with inspiration, with the best books, tapes, videos, all of it. That's an inspiring thought, no doubt. And perhaps you've even started making plans. You've cleared a space in your home for that new library. But here's where the real magic happens when you buy that first book. That first book isn't just another book, it's the beginning of a journey. You can say to yourself, I've started, I've taken the first step. And that's where the inspiration kicks into high gear. It's no longer just an idea in your mind, it's real. And it's exciting. Because you know that first book is just the beginning. You know that it's the first of many, many more. You've opened the floodgates and now a whole stream of knowledge and inspiration is coming your way. And it all started because you took that first step. And here's the beauty of it. Beginning can apply to anything. You can begin a new project, a new habit, a new relationship, or even a new way of thinking. Maybe you've always thought about traveling more, learning a new skill, or investing in yourself in ways you've never done before. The key is to stop just thinking about it and start. Begin now. Even if it's just a small step, take it. Because that first step is what transforms an idea into reality. There's an incredible power in beginning. It's the difference between dreaming and doing, between hoping and achieving. The moment you take action, no matter how small, you set in motion a chain of events that will lead you forward. And that's how you create real progress in your life. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens step by step, starting with that all-important decision to begin. So here's my challenge to you. What can you begin today? What area of your life have you been thinking about but haven't yet acted on? Is it your health, your finances, your relationships, your personal growth? Whatever it is, take that first step, write it down, make a plan. And then act on it. Because beginning isn't just a source of inspiration, it's the key that unlocks the door to your future. And once you start, there's no telling just how far you can go. Let's say you've decided you want to learn a new skill, perhaps accounting, or maybe something else that's been on your mind for a while. You've thought about it, made some plans, cleared time in your schedule, and now you've signed up for the class. The big moment comes, and there you are sitting in that classroom. You've got your pen in hand, your notebook open, ready to take notes. Now let me tell you, that is a powerful moment. That's the moment when the idea becomes real. You're no longer just thinking about learning, you've begun the journey. You see, beginning is one of the most incredible inspiration you'll ever experience. Yes, planning is important, and so is deciding. Both of those give you a sense of direction and purpose. But when you actually take that first step, when you sit in that class or start that new project, that's when the magic really begins. It's when your dreams and plans start to take shape in the real world. And let me tell you, there's nothing quite like it. Now, here's something even more important. It's not just the beginning that inspires you. What truly turns your plans and dreams into reality is your discipline. It's the discipline that keeps you coming back to that class week after week, that keeps you studying, learning, and growing. Discipline is the magic catalyst that turns ambition into achievement. Without it, even the best laid plans remain just ideas. But with it, there's almost no limit to what you can accomplish. So here's the real question. When will you make discipline your own? Notice I didn't say it, because the truth is you can't escape it. If you want to achieve anything meaningful, if you want to have what you desire and become what you're capable of becoming, discipline isn't optional. It's essential. The only real question is when you'll decide to embrace it fully. And once you do, once you commit to that self-discipline consistently, day after day, week after week, month after month, watch what happens. Your income starts to change. Your attitude starts to change. Your whole lifestyle begins to transform. That's the power of consistent discipline. It has the capacity to reshape your life from the inside out. And it's available to each and every one of us. It's not reserved for the select few. It's a tool we can all use anytime we choose. But here's something crucial to understand. No one else is going to do it for you. No one's going to come along and say, hey, don't worry, I'll take care of your future. I'll make sure everything works out for you. That's not how life works. If you're waiting for someone else to design your life, you'll be waiting a long time. The responsibility belongs to you. You have the power to design a life of prosperity, a life of abundance. Or you can design a life where you simply coast along, just getting by. It's your choice. But let me be clear, it is a choice. You're responsible for your future. And the sooner you embrace that responsibility, the sooner you can start shaping your life into something extraordinary. Think of it this way. Every decision you make, every action you take is part of the blueprint for your life. You're the architect. You're the one laying the foundation, building the walls, and deciding what kind of structure you're going to live in. And let me tell you, that's a privilege. It's a gift to have that kind of power over your own destiny. But with that gift comes responsibility. You've got to take charge. You've got to be the one who says, I'm going to design a life I'm proud of. I'm going to build something meaningful, something lasting. And that starts with discipline. It starts with doing the little things every day that move you closer to your goals. It starts with making sure that your actions are aligned with your ambitions. So the question is, what kind of life are you going to design? Are you going to create something incredible, something you can look back on with pride? Or are you going to settle for just getting by? The choice is yours, and the time to decide is now. Take responsibility. Embrace discipline. And remember, nobody else is going to do it for you. The future belongs to those who take control of their own lives. And if you're willing to do that, if you're willing to put in the work, to plan, to decide, and to begin, you'll find that there's no limit to what you can achieve.